There's probably a memory you've carried for years, a childhood moment, a conversation with someone you cared about, a day that somehow became part of the story of who you are. You remember the smell of the room, the look on someone's face, the exact emotion you felt in that second. It feels like opening an old recording of your life. But there's a strange possibility memory science has revealed. A sentence someone said may have changed. A small detail may have been added. The meaning of the whole moment may have slowly shifted over time, not because you meant to change it, but because your brain was never built to simply replay the past. So how can something feel this vivid, this emotionally real, and still not be a perfect copy of what actually happened? To answer that, we have to question one of the biggest assumptions we make about memory. Most of us imagine memory like a camera. An experience happens, the brain records it, stores it somewhere deep inside, and years later we simply press play. It's a comforting idea because it suggests that somewhere inside the mind there's a perfect archive of everything we've ever experienced. But decades of cognitive psychology tell a very different story. Harvard psychologist Daniel Schachter, author of The 7 Sins of Memory, explains that remembering is not playback, it's active reconstruction. The brain doesn't store each moment as a complete file waiting to be opened. It keeps fragments, images, emotions, meanings, pieces of the experience. And when you remember something, it doesn't retrieve a recording, it rebuilds one, carefully stitching those fragments together into something that feels whole. But that reconstruction never happens in isolation. The person you are today shapes how you remember the person you were yesterday. Your current emotions, your present beliefs, your later experiences, all of them quietly influence the memory as it returns. This is why two people can walk away from the exact same argument, the same relationship, or the same defining moment with completely different versions of what happened. One remembers the words, another remembers the emotion behind them. One remembers the pain, another remembers the intention. Both can be completely sincere, because remembering was never just retrieving the past. You're not playing back a recording, you're assembling a collage in real time through the lens of who you are right now. But if memory is reconstructed, a deeper question appears. How much can a memory actually change? In the 1970s, cognitive psychologist Elizabeth Loftus began exploring exactly that through some of the most influential experiments in memory research. Her work became known as the misinformation effect. In one now famous study, participants watched footage of a car accident. Afterwards, researchers asked them how fast the cars were going. But one small detail quietly changed: the wording of the question. Ask someone how fast the cars were going when they smashed into each other, and they remembered the crash as more severe than people who heard the word hit. Some even remembered broken glass that had never been there. A single word, introduced after the event, altered what people believed they had seen. Later research pushed this even further. Our memories aren't shaped only by what happened. They can also be shaped by what we hear, what we imagine, and what we come to believe afterward. Given the right suggestion, people didn't simply forget details. They sometimes created entirely new ones. And those new memories didn't feel fake. They felt vivid, detailed, emotionally real. This is the profound insight at the heart of Loftus's work. The confidence you feel about a memory and the accuracy of that memory are not the same thing. A reconstructed memory can carry the same emotional weight as one built from something that actually happened. A memory can feel powerful because it's meaningful to you, even when some of its details never happened at all. Perhaps the most fascinating discovery is that memory doesn't stay fixed once it's created. The act of remembering itself can become part of the process that reshapes it. For a long time, scientists believed that once a memory was stored, it remained relatively fixed, like a file saved to a drive.
But research into memory reconsolidation revealed something far surprising. When a memory is brought back into awareness, it becomes temporarily flexible again, open to the influence of new emotions, new information, and the way you understand that experience today. What returns to storage isn't always identical to what came out. This doesn't mean your memories are constantly becoming false. Many remain remarkably stable and reliable. But memory isn't an old photograph locked away in a box. It's closer to a story that quietly picks up small edits as life gives you new understanding. Think about an embarrassing moment from years ago. At the time, it may have felt unbearable, a moment where you were certain everyone noticed your mistake. But years later, with more experience, you look back differently. The facts may be similar, but the meaning has changed. And that ability to update the past may reveal something important about why memory exists in the first place.
So if memory can change, why would the human mind work this way? Why wouldn't the brain simply create a perfect recording of every moment? Because memory was never built only to preserve the past, like a museum exhibit. It was built to help you navigate what comes next. Here's what makes this even more remarkable. The same neural network responsible for retrieving your autobiographical memories, the default mode network, also helps you imagine possible futures. Remembering the past and imagining tomorrow rely on much of the same mental machinery. When you remember an experience, your brain isn't simply recovering information. It's extracting lessons, finding patterns, using yesterday to prepare for tomorrow. Thoughtfully remembering a mistake and making a different decision today. You can remember someone's kindness and let it shape who you trust. You can remember a difficult chapter of your life and gradually discover a new meaning within it. A perfectly fixed memory system might preserve every detail exactly as it happened, but a flexible one allows you to learn, adapt, and see your own experiences from new perspectives as you grow. We trade perfect historical accuracy for something even more valuable: adaptability. The purpose of memory was never only to protect the past, it's also how the mind navigates an uncertain future. But this leads to an even deeper question. If our memories can change, what does that mean about who we are? Because you are, in many ways, the sum of your experiences, the moments you succeeded, the moments you struggled, the people you loved, the things you lost. Your mind weaves these fragments together into a continuous story, a sense of where you came from and who you're becoming. Psychologists call this narrative identity. This doesn't mean your story is imaginary. It means the human mind does something far more remarkable than simply record events. It interprets them, gives them meaning, and continually tries to make sense of them. So maybe the real question was never whether every memory is a perfect copy of the past. Maybe the deeper question is why certain memories stayed with us at all. Because memory is not simply a record of where you've been. It's one of the ways the mind learns from experience, finds meaning in the past, and continues writing the story of who you are. Welcome to the Awareness Abode.